You know, when we got Todd Boehly and company to be our owners here at Chelsea Football Club, I always believed we got ourselves the best business people to own a sports club. Did you hear that? Sports club, not just a football club, to lead Chelsea to the future. And that's exactly what we are getting. You will have remembered how we somehow got a market for many of our outcasts in Saudi Arabia and opened a market of our own over there. And now they've done it yet again. I do believe, and I will stand by this, I'll wait for you guys to see it all pan out later, and then you will let me know. Moisés Caicedo to Chelsea, in my books, is a done deal with a Robert Sánchez signing. How does that add up? I'm going to be sharing that and much more in this particular video. But for now, welcome folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another video that we are putting together here. My name is Desire Derek Ford Mogomisa. I remind you to follow me on Twitter, where all the conversations are going to continue to be going. And I also tell you, like, share, subscribe to these videos, and we will be able to push out even much more content together. Don't forget, the comment section is open. I want you guys to let me know what you think about what we're talking about how we are doing these particular videos, and a whole lot more right there. And of course, you know, this is a community. We'll keep growing together, right? All right, now with that out of the way, today, we got a couple of tweets coming through. One of those from David Onstein. Let's have a look at it. Now, that is a tweet that read, exclusive, Brighton and Hove Albion have agreed a deal with Chelsea for goalkeeper Robert Sánchez. Spain international expected to undergo medical imminently. CFC have been targeting the 25-year-old, I can't even believe he's just 25 years of age, as competition for Kepa following Mendy departure. And then, of course, a little bit later, he came through with an update on that fee in the region of £25 million. Now, £25 million for Robert Sánchez with everything that has been going on. Before we break that down, let's also read into a little bit something coming in from Fabrizio Romano, because that too adds context to the analysis that we are about to make. Now, Fabrizio Romano, of course, comes up with another interesting, slightly different angle to this one. Chelsea have agreed a fee of £20 million fixed for Robert Sánchez. It includes add-ons up to £25 million package. Now, of course, that means there will be an extra £5 million in add-ons to make the whole total £25 million. Long-term deal verbally agreed with Sánchez, who always wanted to join Chelsea Football Club. Now, Caicedo talks continue in a separate deal. Slonina will now leave on loan. Here we go. Now, of course, here we go is a phrase that many of us have wanted to hear, especially when it comes to the transfer window, because, hey, Fabrizio Romano has decided that is how he's going to change the transfer business. And when we hear, here we go, all you are left with is the official announcement of a club to sign a player. Now, this is the thing about my claim around Moisés Caicedo being a done deal in my books. A couple of days ago, we read something about there being a 20% sell-on clause on that is the deal that Caicedo signed with Brighton Football Club, courtesy, of course, of the agreement that they had with Independiente. That means whatever amount of money we get as Brighton and Hove Albion, 20% of that will go back to Independiente. Now, so this means that had Chelsea agreed a deal of £80 million to get Moisés Caicedo from Brighton and Hove Albion as it stands, Brighton and Hove Albion would need to send up to £16 million to Independiente, which would mean that they are selling Caicedo for about £64 million. Now, between you and I, everything we've seen of Moisés Caicedo leaving Brighton and Hove Albion for just £64 million, which would be about 60 million profit on what they bought him from Independiente, fair enough, it would still be unfair. And there comes in our deal makers. They come through and they know the situations at Brighton and Hove Albion. I feel like I was at the table because this is exactly what I think happened in there. They come out and state, hey, there was a guy, a goalkeeper, and we also need a goalkeeper. Robert Sánchez is not much better than our goalkeeper, but I think if we want to put some pressure on our goalkeeper, who our coach has told us could be number one, if this guy comes in, he could provide that kind of competition, and it could ensure that we have a good quality goalkeeping. But that guy, your manager fell out with him, so you might be losing him for nothing because there doesn't seem to be any club coming in to buy him. How about you give us a fee, we pay you that money, effectively you're losing him for free because you no longer need him. No one is trying to buy him. That could be something comparable to us losing players like we've done in the past, where we've agreed to terminate their contracts and have gone for free to other clubs. Yeah, so how about we give you a fee that you tell us, we take Sanchez off of your hands and we still get to give you 80 million. See that? We give you the 80 million, you'll send the 16 million to Independiente, but you will have made the other extra money on top of what we would have given you. And yeah, Caicedo will effectively have gone for 80 million pounds. How about that? Matter of fact, now away from all the imagining, all of that could mean that what we are really getting Sanchez for is a maximum of 10 million pounds. 5 of them assured, as part of the 20 that they are saying is assured, and then the 5 will come in add-ons a little bit later. We get ourselves a goalkeeper, and then later the midfielder that we actually want. Now, I want to tell you today that we are going to be signing Moisés Caicedo. He's coming to Chelsea Football Club, and yes, we shall not be paying more than 90 million pounds. Wait for it. I told you, and you had it here first. Now, of course, a couple of people have been reacting to the signing of Robert Sánchez. I want to get into the quality of player that we are getting into Chelsea Football Club. Now, I've looked at a couple of statistics and we're going to be looking into those just shortly. But I would love for us to look at a couple of people who have been sharing their opinions on those. And we'll be starting off with Alex Goldberg right there. This tweet really caught my eye. Let's look at it. Robert Sánchez to Chelsea. There we go. Didn't want it, but potential positives are. And this is a guy that is really thinking along the lines that I am thinking. He's reunited with the goalkeeping coach Ben Roberts. Remember, Ben Roberts came as part of the backroom staff of Graham Potter when he came from Brighton and Hove Albion to join Chelsea Football Club. We kept him at the beginning of the season when we brought in the coaching staff of Mauricio Pochettino. So yes, this is a goalkeeper that he knows so well. Tony Jimenez, also a very good goalkeeping coach. We shall remember that, of course, he's part of that team that stated that they were going to work with Kepa to try and improve him and make him our #1 goalkeeper. So now this is 2 good goalkeepers, decent goalkeepers that could compete for that position, and one of them, or even both of them, will be playing at levels much higher than we've known them to play. More to that, Alex Goldberg goes on to state, Posh usually makes goalkeepers extra confident. We've seen the confidence Mudryk is already showing and stuff like that, so that's not even limited to goalkeepers, but hey, that is quite something. Robert Sánchez is significantly taller than Kepa, and we're going to break down the statistics and you'll see what exactly we are getting with this goalkeeper. He's 3 years younger than Kepa. Would you imagine that? Kepa is already 28. Sometimes I get surprised. He's 25, this gentleman. Arguably a low risk, high reward move, and maybe is the domino to Caicedo. Hey, cut out that maybe, my brother Alex Goldberg. It is exactly what you think it is. Moisés Caicedo to Chelsea. I insist, you had it here first. Is a done deal to Chelsea. Be happy, people. Be happy. Give it a week and it's all done. All right, with those opinions shared, now let's have a look at what the statistics have to say. It's the numbers, it's the numbers, it's the numbers game that football today is all about. I've gotten Robert Sánchez versus Kepa. But very interestingly, and you will notice that we've looked at 2 different seasons here. We've looked at a season where Sánchez was one of the key players at Brighton and Hove Albion, that was 2021-2022 under Graham Potter. And then we've looked at last season for Kepa, where he somehow emerged as the better goalkeeper for Chelsea Football Club. When we look at the statistics between the 2 players in that season 2021-2022, Sánchez played every game but 1. And then, of course, on the other hand, you do have Kepa, who played each game for Chelsea Football Club but 9 for Chelsea Football Club. And for me, the goalkeeping statistics are the what are very, very important. The clean sheets. Well, he played a little bit more in his season, actually quite more in his season, but he had 2 more clean sheets than Kepa, so I would choose Kepa over Sánchez in that particular bit, but that's not what is very, very important. Goals conceded and all of those, yes, smaller club, bigger club, whatever transitions they were going through on right there. I would love for us to pay attention to the high claims, because one of the biggest challenges we've had with Kepa is, well, when the balls come high, he's flapping at them. Biggest example, last night versus Borussia Dortmund, we conceded a goal because Kepa, where if he had been taller, and he had grabbed onto that particular ball, there is no opportunity for Wolf to get to score that goal that, by the way, I still think was offside. So if it was Robert Sánchez in that position, I want to think he's grabbing the ball and he's claiming it high right there. So yes, look at those high claims, the difference 60 versus 15. How about that? He punches less, or he punched less in that particular season, just 10 versus the 15 that Kepa did. And of course, Kepa is only punching those that he's managed to, because many of those have been conceded already. Now, away from that, I also wanted to just play the wild card here and look at what Aaron Ramsdale's last season at Bournemouth was like versus Robert Sánchez at his best season. That is, of course, or at least the most recent season at Brighton and Hove Albion. Because why am I comparing this? When Aaron Ramsdale was signed for Arsenal, of course, he came for a much bigger fee, but many of us were castigating him and thinking, oh, they're also going to get relegated. And we've seen how he's turned around that Arsenal goalkeeping department ever since. However, what I'm looking at here again are the high claims. Still those 60 for Robert Sánchez as compared to Aaron Ramsdale in the final season that had Arteta feel like that's the goalkeeper that should come in. 33, just 33. So I just compared these particular statistics just to show you how special a player he can be. Especially if we're going to say one goalkeeping coach and the guy he already worked with and the manager overall had trusted one guy. Now, this guy with slightly better statistics, when they're playing about the same time, how much can they get to do with them? So maybe, just maybe, he's not as terrible a goalkeeping choice to come in at Chelsea Football Club. Solves that problem whereby we have lost confidence in Kepa as far as long-range shots get to go, especially those that are high above. You want to think that, of course, Sánchez should be able to reach for those and get to stop them. Speaking of which, there's another tweet that I saw that caught my eye. Let's have a look at that. And that's a tweet coming in from CFC Daily, who were recalling a tweet that they put up a little bit earlier. Then on April the 1st, they put up a tweet stating or sharing what Sky Sports had shared as far as, statistics on goalkeepers in the league got to go. And that was around goalkeepers conceding goals from outside the box. Remember that thing that we've just been talking about that we have been worried about because Kepa is in our goal? Kepa Arrizabalaga had conceded 22%, coming second in the ranking for the highest percentage since August 2018. That is of goalkeepers that have played 50 times for their clubs and above. And yes, Kepa Arrizabalaga was only behind David Raya. A couple of people who have been telling us that we should be getting David Raya instead of Robert Sánchez. Look at that statistic. And of course, CFC Daily coming out to state Sánchez not being here is a positive, I guess. Of course it is. But once again, the biggest story today is the fact that Moisés Caicedo is coming to Chelsea Football Club, because that hiccup that has been there in the valuation for Brighton and Hove Albion and for Chelsea, those conversations that have gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks, I believe with this Robert Sánchez signing, especially for how much we've paid for him, is what solves that Moisés Caicedo deal. Of course, on top of Levi Colwill finally saying something and ensuring that Brighton and Hove Albion know they cannot get to have him. Everything moving as we hoped. Ladies and gentlemen, head to the comment section and let us know what it is that you think about these particular deals. Do you agree with me on my text right here, or do you have a different view? I'm open to all those conversations. Let's have them in the comment section. And while you are at it, don't you forget to like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel, because it's through that we'll be able to grow this channel to levels that will be sustainable for the longer term future. Have yourselves a great one. See you later.